Congress just went into emergency recess, not for a holiday, not for a crisis. They're running from a vote that would expose names so powerful, even saying them out loud could end careers. Ghislaine Maxwell is about to speak, and the establishment is in panic mode. Attorney General Pam Bondi, she's not playing games anymore. Now she's going straight to the source, trying to save. The House wants Maxwell under oath. The DOJ wants her talking behind closed doors, and caught in the middle, every elite who ever stepped foot on that island. They thought these secrets died with Epstein. Well, they were dead wrong. What's about to drop? The foundations of power in America, so do not look away now. And while the elites scramble to hide their secrets, millions of Americans are taking control of their health naturally. The same system protecting Epstein's client wants you dependent on their expensive solutions. But there is a better way. I use Blood Flow 7 from Juvenon. It's helped me stay sharp and energized during these long investigations into corruption. It works by boosting nitric oxide levels 230% and opening arteries up to 62% to improve blood flow. With just one dose a day, I've improved my stamina, my energy, and focus without caffeine. It's doctor formulated, scientifically backed. Visit bloodflow7.com/NNN. It is linked down below. All right. So some strange news just dropped before we went to press, and we have this. Jeffrey Epstein's attorney has died suddenly. Roy Black, powered lawyer who got Epstein a sweetheart deal, is now dead at 80. He also defended Rush Limbaugh, a Kennedy, Kelsey Grammer, BuzzFeed, and Rolls-Royce. Another name tied to Epstein gone. What are the odds? Now, Aaron Plickington says, well, look who's died with a miraculous timing of a heart attack. That's the only indication that we know of how he passed. Jeffrey Epstein's old attorney, Roy Black, a heart attack at 80. Now, that's not uncommon. We're not going to say that this man was offed to silence him, but of course the timing couldn't be any worse. Jeffrey Epstein's lawyer dying by a heart attack. Maybe it's all the news of Jeffrey Epstein everywhere. That he just couldn't take it anymore, and his heart just said, nope, I'm done. Maybe there was just too much stress, and it got to him. Maybe he was worried about being called up as a witness to testify in front of Congress. Who knows? I mean, there could be a number of reasons why he passed. The fact that he was tied to Jeffrey Epstein really makes it even more suspicious. Everyone's talking about Polymarket even. Jeffrey Epstein's attorney, Roy Black, has died. We have this. Cowboy, 4 hours ago. Maybe you could release Trump's tax returns again. Why didn't you release the Epstein files when the Dems were in power for the last 8 years and scrub them for Biden's name? Red herring, eyes on the prize, auto pen, pardon revoked. Representative Thomas Massie. Okay, here's Ro Khanna, Democrat, teaming up with Ro Khanna, teaming up with Thomas Massie. He says, Thomas Massie and I have the votes to easily pass the full release of the Epstein files, but the Speaker is recessing Congress. So you have a Democrat and a Republican coming together to release the files, and then they go to recess. Listen.
Washington.
So Thomas Massie is saying tonight that if the House closes up for the summer without this vote, it's just going to get worse in September. What is the state of play in this breaking news situation right now tonight on your discharge petition?
Well, more and more Republicans are joining the call for a discharge petition, but the Speaker is not willing to have a vote. You know, let's just speak plainly, because we use all these complex words, discharge petition. Sometimes I think Congress is sort of a priesthood, which uses obscure and arcane language to confuse American people. Here's the bottom line. There's the majority of the Congress that has the votes to release the Epstein files. We have a majority of the votes. And the problem is that we're not having a vote. And that's the dirty secret in Washington. It's not how you vote. It's that most of these things never come a vote. And all a discharge petition is saying is that the majority, if they sign something, will demand and be able to get a vote on something that we know is going to pass. And the reality is that Mike Johnson is trying recess the Congress because there's this arcane rule that the bill has to be there for 7 days before you can actually get all the signatures. And it's been there for about 4 days. So he wants to adjourn us so that we can wait till after Labor Day to get the signatures and have this vote. It's the worst kind of gamesmanship, but the American people are going to see through it.
So, Tom.
So are you willing to wait until after Labor Day? Seems like Mike Johnson wants to. Jake Sherman tagging Speaker Johnson, quoting Thomas Massie. I don't understand Thomas Massie's motivation. I really don't. I don't know how his mind works. I don't know what he's thinking. Thomas Massie could have brought this discharge petition anytime over the last 4.5 years, or the last 4 years of the Biden administration. He could have done at any time, and now he's clamoring as if there's some sort of timeline. So that is Jake Sherman. Jake Sherman is the founder of Punch Bowl News. And that's what he is talking about. Why didn't it come forward earlier? And then T.J. Roberts says, well, hang on, he did. Here's Thomas Massie saying, I demand the release of the Epstein client list in February of 24. March 27th of 2022, not a man to be trusted, Thomas Massie says, with your food supply or anything else for that matter. And unlike many others, Mr. Gates started the relationship after Mr. Epstein was convicted. June 20th, 2024, he was replying to Tucker. Obviously, blackmail is one tool of statecraft. I just haven't seen it deployed against congressmen. I see them make bad votes for simple and stupid reasons. Seems likely Epstein was involved in a higher level espionage with business leaders and the executive branch. Which executive branch is he talking about? So apparently Massie has been. Here's Cernovich again. Why didn't he do this during the Biden regime? Total stunt queen, he calls him, with deep resentment Trump, and he's insulting your intelligence. 24 hours ago, here is what Thomas Massie posted. If the executive branch won't release phase 2 of the Epstein files, we will. Americans deserve transparency, and the victims deserve justice. Now, if you look at his binder here, it says Epstein files phase 2. That is clearly a shot at when Pam Bondi handed those binders to those conservative influencers that said phase 1. So Thomas Massie getting dragged by Cernovich saying, why didn't you do this during the Biden regime? But then, of course, T.J. Roberts calling him out, saying he did in 2021, demanding the release of the client. Okay, so here is the Lincoln Project. Of course, no fan of the Trump administration or Donald Trump himself or MAGA. 9 hours ago, Mike Johnson just canceled votes for Thursday and is sending the House home early for summer recess to avoid having to release the Epstein files. Afraid to take a vote over a witch hunt, they write. Got it. Okay, so here's, they were quote tweeting ACYN, Donald Trump speaking about Epstein, a clip from 9 hours ago in the Oval Office. Listen.
Should be very. No, I have no concern. He's a very talented person. He's very smart. I didn't know that they were going to do it. I don't really follow that too much. It's sort of a witch hunt, just a continuation of the witch hunt. The witch hunt that you should be talking about is they caught President Obama absolutely cold, Tulsi Gabbard. They did to this country in 2016, starting in 2016, but going up all the way going up to 2020 in the election. They tried to rig the election, and they got caught. And there should be very consequences for that.
Continuing on, we have here from the Daily Signal. Daily Signal's G. Caldwell News asked Speaker Johnson if there's more judiciary GOP or GOP oversight can do to bring information on Jeffrey Epstein to light in the halls of Congress. Listen in.
Short of releasing documents, isn't there more that the Judiciary Committee or oversight can do to subpoena accomplices of Epstein and get their thoughts?
And they may, so we'll see how that develops. We got to allow them time to do their work.
You would support that?
Maxwell taking place on the local level in California.
Short of releasing documents,
so he says we got to give them time to do their work. Here is U.S. Representative Thomas Massie, 24 hours ago, announces he will lead independent phase 2 of congressional investigation into the Epstein files.
I was wondering, with the paralysis in the Rules Committee, it seems like they're not going to be meeting again today because of Epstein amendments. Have you chatted with anybody about that at this point?
Well, it wouldn't really matter. Their Epstein bill resolution is non-binding, so it's kind of fake. The resolution that I have co-sponsored with Khanna would actually bring up legislation that would be binding on the president.
Is your understanding that that will ripen the day after lawmakers get back from August recess?
Yeah, unfortunately, we have 6 days and we needed 7 days for the discharge petition to ripen before we could bring this up before the August recess. So we'll have to bring it up after the August recess. But the good news is the Speaker has no interest in keeping us here one extra day.
I was wondering.
The Speaker has no interest in keeping them there an extra day, so they'll have to wait until they come back. They will need this to ripen, as he says. Here is Speaker Johnson 10 hours ago. Says he will suspend the House until September. And they write here to block Epstein file votes and brags that Trump agreed. Listen.
2 questions. First is, did the president or anyone in the administration ask you to delay the resolution until after recess?
No, but I as you all know, I speak to the president multiple times a day on a typical day, often, always. And what I know about the president's heart on this is that he agrees with everything I've said here today. He wants maximum transparency, but he's also very insistent that we do not subject people who have already been victims of unspeakable crimes to public scrutiny. And it would be a very dangerous thing to put those people's names out or to do a release of information in a way that is haphazard where they could be easily unmasked. And so you have to be very careful to do that. I think we have a moral responsibility to do that. We have a moral responsibility to expose the evil of Epstein, and everybody was involved in that. Absolutely. And we're resolved to do it. But we also have an equal moral responsibility to protect the innocent. And that is a fine needle to thread. And we could all give ourselves easy political cover and come out and do something in a haphazard fashion, but I would not be able to sleep at night because I know our legal responsibility. I understand what the legal standard is, but more than that, the moral standard. So we're going to do this, and we're going to do it expeditiously. We're going to do it the right way. What is popular isn't always right, and what is right isn't always popular. I had an 8th grade teacher tell me that one time. I carried it with me my whole life. We're going to do the right thing here, and the American people at the end will see that we did that in the right way and on the right timetable. Yes.
So he's basically going to use a procedural method to delay until recess is over. Massie is determined to continue with his resolution to release the Epstein files. So we're going to have to see if Speaker Johnson makes good. It sounds like he wants to make good. Sounds like he wants to see justice. He also doesn't want to see innocent people get smeared or victims unmasked who've already gone through too much pain. And at the same time, we have Pam Bondi, who has stated that she has under directive by Donald Trump to go and unseal the grand jury testimony. And we have this is 10 hours ago. Representative Tim Burchett moves to subpoena Ghislaine Maxwell. And the House Oversight Subcommittee approves, apparently. Listen to this.
But it does show... Yeah, a notable little twist here. A House Oversight Subcommittee just voted moments ago to approve a motion offered by the Republican Congressman Tim Burchett of Tennessee that would direct the committee chairman, James Comer, to issue a subpoena for Ghislaine Maxwell. Now, Burchett offered this motion at the beginning of an Oversight Subcommittee meeting. He didn't give details about why this, why now, but it does show that tensions are high. Republicans are dissatisfied.
Now, I mean, first of all, yeah. This is all great. We're hearing this news from Congressman Burchett. But as you see, this is an MSNBC clip. And what is MSNBC doing? Repeatedly running pictures of Trump and Jeffrey Epstein in just an effort to smear President Trump. It's disgusting. I'm going to roll it back here.
Issue a subpoena for Ghislaine Maxwell. Now, Burchett offered this motion at the beginning of an Oversight Subcommittee meeting. He didn't give details about why this, why now, but it does show that tensions are high. Republicans are dissatisfied. This issue is not going away. They're having problems in the Rules Committee. They're having problems getting bills to the floor. And, Republicans are demanding more transparency on this issue from the administration. And clearly now there's a desire to hear directly from Ghislaine Maxwell. Now, one of two things has to happen here in order for the subpoena to actually be issued. Either the chairman of the committee, James Comer, also a Republican, a close ally of Trump, issued it himself, or the full oversight committee has to vote in order to move this forward. We have reached out to the committee. We don't exactly know what they're going to do next. Yeah, a notable.
Oh, we're going to find out soon enough, though. How disgusting, though, MSNBC up to old tricks. Drew Hernandez posting this 10 hours ago. Pay attention to the timing here today. Why is Pam Bondi wanting DOJ to meet with Maxwell before the House Oversight speaks with her after voting to subpoena her? He says the DOJ is suspect as hell. Here's the headline. House Oversight votes to subpoena Ghislaine Maxwell over the Epstein files. Now we have this from Tim Burchett. I don't think we're going to see any Trump and Epstein photographs in this clip from him. Clearly, he's doing a selfie video as he walks through the halls of Congress. Let's listen in to what he's saying.
Hey, everybody. Tim Burchett, just leaving Oversight Subcommittee, Government Operations. Hey, brother. Asked some questions to about the GAO, their bid process, but the important thing was that I did a motion to direct the chairman of the full committee to authorize and issue a subpoena for Ghislaine Maxwell to appear before a deposition. And that's it right there. I had it printed out, so I made sure I did it appropriate. Talked to Chairman Comer. He's down. We're good. I believe he's going to issue the subpoena. He's a stand-up guy. We just got to get to the bottom of this thing, folks. It's just, it's 4 years, and, we don't need to tolerate this stuff anymore. And I get the blowback about folks up here are going to be mad at me, but ultimately, and with all sincerity, excuse me, I'm going to answer my creator on this issue and what we did about the least amongst us. And we got to send a message to these dirtbags that do this. This is not acceptable behavior. And also a message to the victims that we believe you and that you need to come out of the shadows, and we need to bust these people that do this and send them to hell, because I'm over it. Anyway, before I get myself in any more trouble, thank y'all for sending me here. Hey, everybody.
Thank you all for sending me. Tim Burchett doing his duty for the American people. 13 hours ago, Red Wave Press posting that at the direction of the Attorney General Pam Bondi, the DOJ reaching out to Jeffrey Epstein's former girlfriend, Ghislaine Maxwell, to see if she would be willing to speak with them about what she knows. If Ghislaine Maxwell has information about anyone who has committed crimes against victims, the FBI and DOJ will hear what she has to say. Here is the statement. The Department of Justice does not shy away from uncomfortable truths, nor from the responsibility to pursue justice wherever the facts may lead. The joint statement by the DOJ and FBI of July 6th remains accurate today as it was when it was written. Namely, in the recent thorough review of the files maintained by the FBI in the Epstein case, no evidence was uncovered that could predicate an investigation against uncharged third parties. President Trump has told us to release all credible evidence. If Ghislaine Maxwell has information about anyone who has committed crimes against victims, the FBI and DOJ will hear what she has to say. Therefore, at the direction of Attorney General Bondi, I have communicated with counsel for Ms. Maxwell to determine whether she should speak with prosecutors from the department. I anticipate meeting with Ms. Maxwell in the coming days. Until now, no administration on behalf of the department had inquired about her willingness to meet with the government. That changes now. AG Bondi announcing she'll meet with Ghislaine Maxwell to expose the truth about Jeffrey Epstein. Unprecedented. Bondi seeks to find uncharged third parties and further evidence of Epstein's option. So we're going to wait and see. There's a lot moving forward in this case. Okay? We've got Epstein's former lawyer passing away. We've got Khanna Thomas Massie being stonewalled before the congressional recess, coming back afterwards, hopefully to release phase 2. We have Pam Bondi now saying she is going to go and talk to Ghislaine Maxwell with the Department of Justice. We have Tim Burchett on the case. So many developments because this is far from over, and we're going to be on top of this whether you like it or not. So if you got value from this report, tap subscribe. My final thought is next. So this is about justice for victims and accountability for predators who have hidden behind power and money for decades. Maxwell, she holds the keys to a kingdom of corruption that reaches into Hollywood, Wall Street, Silicon Valley, and yes, the highest levels of government. The fact that Mike Johnson shut down Congress rather than allow a vote on releasing else tells you everything. They're terrified. And Bondi meeting with Maxwell while Congress issues subpoenas, that's not a coincidence. That's a race against time. Somebody perhaps who wants to control the narrative before the truth explodes. Name in those files represents a child whose innocence was stolen, a life destroyed by monsters who thought they were untouchable. So here's the question. Do you believe that we will ever see the full client list? Yes or no? Drop your answer in the comments. Let's continue the conversation. And if you want to support our work here at the Next News Network, grab some exclusive merch and support our efforts to expose President Otto Penn and Alcatraz and your favorite member of the administration in our American Badass series. You can trigger a liberal today at shop.nextnewsnetwork.com. It is linked down below.